Pony Fantasy V, Exodus of the Void, by G.M. Blackjack. Chapter 26, Glittering Flames. The battle is set, Sunset said, smirking. Let us fight like... Wait. She blinked. We're all mares. Forget that joke. She generated her halberd. But it matters not. You shall all feel the amazing pain of my flaming weapon eviscerating you. Starlight wordlessly clutched her necklace and lit her horn, creating dozens of magical beams that attacked the warriors from all angles. The crowd cheered as the 5 mares were engulfed in an explosion. Oh, come on, Starlight. I wanted to have some fun. Then Sunset's eyes widened. There was a white shield in there. Carbuncle smiled. It feels good to have some say in what happens again. Thank you, Mr. Carbuncle, Fluttershy said. Every pony okay? Physically fine, Twilight said. Rainbow Dash cracked her neck. All right, let's see how you like this. She enveloped her wings in the green energy and shot towards Starlight, only to get chopped down by Sunset. Sorry, Crash, can't have you ignoring me. Burn! Rainbow Dash lit her wings on fire, directing Sunset's fire blast back into her wings. You just gave me a charge. She shot the improved fire spell back at the unicorn, only to have Sunset catch it in her telekinesis and send it back, stronger than before. The ball of fire went back and forth, getting even bigger. Applejack now took the opportunity to attack Sunset with her sword, only to find the flaming halberd deflecting the blow. What? It's called multitasking. Heck, Sunset muttered, slicing at Applejack without even looking at her. Applejack growled, turning berserk and rushing Sunset, grunting through her now way too hot sword. Sunset was forced to buck her in the face, having a harder and harder time dealing with Rainbow Dash. You call that a buck? Applejack laughed. Mare, you need to work out more. This is a buck. She reared her legs back, only for Starlight to toss her into the air. She landed on the ground with a thud, breaking a leg in the process. Rarity quickly mended the damage, and Twilight shot a few lasers at Starlight in retaliation. Rainbow Dash lost the fire conflict, her entire body getting engulfed in the far too powerful fireball. She was launched back into a wall. Starlight picked her up and blasted her with a magic beam, causing her to scream. Oh no you don't, Rarity yelled, feeding Rainbow Dash with her own white magic, speeding the Pegasus up so she could move out of the beam. Starlight kept up, increasing her own speed dramatically. Cheater, Rarity muttered. Starlight made no vocal response. Cheater? Sunset laughed. You're one to talk, white mage. All this healing you have, it's so cheap. Oh, well then I guess we're even. She stuck her tongue out, raising some magical shields on herself in anticipation of the flamethrower that Sunset was charging. The barrage of flames burned right through them, burning past her. She yelled in pain. She was feeling faint. Feel the hellfire! Ifrit roared, coming into existence out of Fluttershy and directing the fire away from Rarity and onto Sunset. The unicorn smirked, lighting her horn and directing the fire at Ifrit. Ha! Fire cannot hurt me, miscreant! But this can, Starlight said, throwing Rainbow Dash into Ifrit, dissipating him. Woohoo! Go Starlight! Sunset cheered, throwing her halberd at Applejack again. This is awesome! It most certainly is not awesome! Rainbow Dash yelled, picking herself up and jetting for Starlight, only to find herself levitated by the unicorn's telekinesis again. You know, this is a really cheap trick! Twilight got her this time. I'll keep her busy for now. You just... Oh, is that planning I hear? Sunset shouted, teleporting in between them in a burst of flame. Such wonderful ideas. Unfortunately, plotting is what we do, not you. She sliced at both of them with 2 halberds now, Twilight being unable to dodge. She yowled as her blood went flying. Starlight lifted the purple unicorn up into the air and glared. She started to squeeze. Twilight gagged, looking Starlight straight in the eye. She saw hatred behind the face, but also sadness. It was the face of a unicorn in turmoil. "Please," Twilight said. "No, please don't try," Starlight said. "It has to be this way." Twilight glared. "I can't let that happen." "I know," Starlight said, squeezing harder. Twilight fought back, exploding in a burst of purple magic. The crowd roared as Twilight and Starlight entered a heated magic laser duel. Meanwhile, Sunset was realizing she was fighting 4-on-1 now. Applejack was making her focus on the halberd. She had to keep dodging Rainbow's flesh-melting spell, and Fluttershy was currently sitting on the shoulders of Titan, directing him to smash. Not to mention that Rarity kept messing with Sunset's personal flow of time. "We need some bacon!" Sunset roared, lighting herself on fire, the light extending from her in tendrils of holy magic, attempting to entrap the Warriors of Light. It didn't work. Rarity pushed through it with her own white magic, resulting in a healing of the enemy party. Sunset gritted her teeth. This is amazing!" She started laughing. "This is the best fight I've had in ages! I applaud you! She blinked. "Where is Pinky?" Starlight's eyes widened in alarm upon hearing this. Sunset whirled around rapidly. "All right, punk. Where are you hiding? I applaud your clever little ruse, but I know you're here somewhere." "You really are an idiot," Rainbow Dash growled. "Oh no, see, I noticed the discrepancy, and am now expecting a pink blur to appear from nowhere and impale me with a confectionery of some sort," Sunset responded. "She's freaking dead." Starlight's world crashed at that moment. She stopped firing, taking several steps back from Twilight, looking at Rainbow Dash in alarm. "What?" Sunset blinked. "Wait. She's gone?" Her face contorted in rage. "She was a great warrior! Who dared dishonor her in such a way?" "Your boss," Applejack said. "She gave X-Death everything, and she couldn't keep herself alive." Sunset's demeanor vanished. The crowd went silent. She clapped her hooves, and the disco ball retreated into the ceiling. The crowd shuffled out of the room, and the hall returned to its dark self. Starlight was shaking. "I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand." Sunset glowered. "This is unfortunate." She turned to look at the Warriors of Light. "My condolences." "You offering condolences?" Rainbow Dash yelled. "Those who are strong are worthy of respect. It is a tragedy when great warriors die, on either side of this conflict. Even if I killed you, it would be a tragedy." She frowned. "But unfortunately necessary. This is war." "Sunset?" Starlight managed to say through her turmoil. "I haven't been taking it seriously," Sunset said. "I looked up to Pinky, honestly. I saw something in her I wanted to see in myself. And look where it got her." "It got her far," Fluttershy said. "She saved us from him." "I suppose so. But here you are." She paused. "If you do get past us, you will have to face him anyway, without her. How will you survive?" "We'll find a way," Applejack said. "We always do." Sunset frowned. Pinky didn't. Twilight took a step forward. "You could be the reason we survive. Look at you two. Honorable, strong, respectable mares who know what's happening here is wrong. You both feel that X-Death has gone too far, that he has no regard for any life, not even your own." "But we can prove ourselves to him!" Sunset yelled. We can't just turn our back on him." "Yes, you can," Applejack said. "There's nothing stopping you. You know what the right choice is." "He'll kill us," Starlight said matter-of-factly. "Then he won't have anyone in his inner circle that could ever speak up to him." "Yeah," Sunset said. "Wait, what?" "He's a bad man, but I don't see how to defeat him. Betraying him won't work, so we have to work on the inside, Starlight said, clutching the necklace in her hoof. Pinky told me to do what I had to do before I sold you to XDeath. I'm going to keep doing that. Right now, I have to serve XDeath. I am sorry. I'll keep you alive if I can. Tears started streaking down her face. I never wanted this. The Warriors of Light were taken aback, as was Sunset. Sunset frowned. I didn't know, Starlight. Yeah, Starlight smiled sadly. You didn't. But you do now. Sunset sighed, turning back to the Warriors of Light. We have to fight you. There's no way around it. And we have to win. But know this. We will do whatever we can to minimize the damage XDeath will cause in his future dominion. Starlight nodded in agreement. Rarity frowned. That is a small comfort, I suppose. But we can't just sit and let this happen. Sunset nodded. Then let us cross blades. For real this time. No games. This is an honorable fight between those of clashing ideals. Twilight put a hoof down. Agreed. It was nice to meet you all. For real, Sunset said. Rainbow Dash rolled her eyes. You're a real dork. You know that? Dork? Ha! I am the greatest warrior to ever grace the surface of this planet. I am the polar opposite of dork. Rainbow Dash chuckled, then put on her serious face. It's go time. I'm so sorry, Starlight said, lighting her horn. So are we, Twilight said in response. Then Sunset and Starlight began to dance. They stood on their hind legs, putting their front hooves around each other and stepping to an unheard tune. They began to glow with an intense white fire, forming into one creature. 4 legs and 2 arms. A centaur with fur the color of fire and a mane the color of stars. We are sunlight, it spoke, and the necklace around the centaur's neck lit up in a pink aura. Pinkie Pie's voice came through it. And thus, a million shippers screamed, Blasphemy! The centaur looked down at the necklace. Then she began to shake and laugh a lunatic's laugh. She fell apart into 2 unicorns once more. Sunset laughing like a maniac on the ground. Starlight bawling like a foal. Twilight blinked. What? Fluttershy smiled. She sniffed. She still has it, even now that she's gone. Cracking some bizarre joke, Sunset yelled. I mean, who does that? She curled up into a fetal position and began rocking herself. Pinkie Pie, that's who. Starlight looked at the necklace around her neck, tears flowing freely. I can't do this? I shouldn't do this? Is that what you're trying to tell me? The necklace said nothing. It just sat there like the inanimate object it was. Fluttershy walked up to the 2 broken mares. She grabbed them in a hug. We don't need to fight. We can figure this out. That's what she would have wanted. She looked at the pink necklace. She knew she had to die to save us. But that's done. We are here now, and we need to stop XDeath. Starlight and Sunset looked up at her. Sunset chuckled. Well, that certainly sounds like her. She stood up. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do something crazy. Starlight stood up as well. Yeah. And the plot has come full circle. Every pony turned to see the big doors at the end of the hall wide open, and XDeath standing in the doorway, looking impatient. This, the culmination of previous encounters. Why were they given emotions? Why were they given drives? For this. For the heel-face turn. For a meaningful confrontation. For drama. He growled. This sickens me. Sunset took a step back. Then she glared. You know what? No one cares. You're going down, blue-armored Nimrod from the depths of the Everfree. My heritage is none of your concern. Nothing is of your concern. Not anymore. The mares noticed that he was talking differently than before. No rage, no bombastic voice, just a strange hollowness behind his words they couldn't explain. You will be punished for your insolence, even though it was inevitable. Applejack frowned. You're not making any sense. It matters not, Exdeath said. He snapped his fingers, and a strange black sphere appeared, shifting into a similar creature to the one they fought on the tower. It lunged Starlight and Sunset, gobbling them up quickly. No! Sunset yelled, lighting herself on fire. No! As she and Starlight passed the event horizon, she put everything she could into a final fire blast. The portal creature was engulfed, exploding in a flash of distorted space-time. But Sunset and Starlight were still gone. Meaningless, Exdeath said. Why do you stare at me appalled? It was the way things must be. They were not to be forgiven for their failure. Then he began to laugh, his older self returning to the surface. But then again, you won't need to worry about that much longer, heroes. I know your secret, and it will not be enough to save you. I am Exdeath, and I will not be defeated again. The Warriors of Light readied themselves for what seemed to be the final confrontation. Well, this is the third final confrontation we're getting, looks like. I mean, first there was the last not emerald. Rock, jewel, crystal! The final crystal, third time's the charm, that didn't work. Then, there was him in the Everfree, that looked like a final confrontation, but then Pinky pulled her thing and that wasn't the end. So here's the third final confrontation set up. A third time's the charm? Maybe? We shall see. Depressed Exdeath is not as amusing to voice as regular Exdeath. There was supposed to be some specific music for this chapter too. It looks like it was Final Fantasy in nature, but it is a dead link on the page. So I'm just going to use some of my normal fight music instead of whatever specific thing he was going for. I could probably make some reasonable guesses. I could also ask him, but it's easier for me just to use the preset stuff. We finally get to see exactly what was up with Starlight. I knew there was something. Okay, it was made clear. Maybe I'll remember it this time, maybe I won't. But now it is known. Oh, and in case you didn't see, Blackjack did speak to me in the comment section of the last video. Yeah, he just forgot about the Chocobo, he thinks. It's possible it shows up again later, but I don't remember it, he doesn't remember it. Odds are good, Blackjack forgot he existed. That's why he stopped existing midway through the scene. Ah well. Shame to lose those two just as they were coming around to this side properly and fully, but it does make sense. And it's a great explanation of the sort of reason why they didn't do this so much sooner, because they would immediately get killed. Well, I can see that Exdeath is properly aware of what's going on. Not capital A, just lowercase a. He knows stuff. Stuff! I don't remember... Oh yeah. It was mentioned in that earlier story I did. If you haven't been reading since then, it's a mystery that maybe you know, maybe you don't. It's not super obvious, but there are hints. I'm not telling you. You have to see. Anyway, thank you for listening. I hope you had a good time. Goodbye, everyone. Have a pleasant day.